Alright, hello and welcome to another video on TCGplayer.com. My name's Steve Rubin. We won the die roll. Let's go first. Interesting. So we have Voice, Renegade, Rallier, and Resto Angel, 4 lands. This is why I don't really think I have enough fetch lands in this deck, because this seems like a solid hand. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep. I mean, I have like a reasonable curve, even if it's not the most powerful thing in the world. If my opponent kills my Voice, then maybe I can like blink my Rallier to get it back. Definitely not the most impressive draw, though. Looks like we're up against Affinity. That could be tough. Ghost Quarter could come in handy, though. 2 Ornithopters. Not actually the most powerful start by him. Didn't have any drums or opals or anything. It's possible that he would slow roll an opal. I don't see much of a reason to play the Voice over the Thalia, so I think we just play Thalia. Prevents him from maybe drawing into an opal or using a Galvanic Blast that effectively. Really have any removal in my hand except for these Ghost Quarters. So if he has a Steel Overseer, we could be in trouble, which he does. Didn't draw Path. Don't really have much to do here. I think we just fire in for 2 and play Voice. I guess I'll leave my Ghost Quarter up. I probably won't use it because I think pretty much the only way I can win is like through Restoration Angel, but by the time I get that down, actually, I don't think I'll be able to block the tokens. But let's just go ahead and try Voice here. Can't say my deck is really that well set up for this kind of matchup. Thalia doesn't really do anything. Ghost Quarter, like, doesn't go. Arbiter is just bad, which is kind of a problem, I think. I think any deck Arbiter is bad against, like, we don't really want to play against. He's got a Ravager. Yeah, this is going to be painful. Vault Scourge, sure. It's actually pretty gross. If I don't draw Path to Exile this turn, actually, I'm just drawing dead, I think. I can kill both of his Inkmoth Nexuses, but I can't really beat the rest of the stuff he has. Now that he has like a Ravager, like my Resto plan doesn't really work. Drew a Blade Splicer. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. Kind of an early concession, but it's just not gonna go well for me there on out. Okay, so we want the Stony Silences and the Pride Mages. What do we want to cut? Let's make these bigger. So, I feel like Mind Sensor is really bad and Lean and Arbiter is bad as well, but it does. I think we still have to always leave them in because we have Path to Exile and Ghost Quarter. I think both Thalia and Voice are pretty bad against him. I'm not sure which one's worse. Voice is better against like a card like Whip Flare. Thalia actually could potentially hurt us with our Path to Exiles, where it doesn't really hurt them that much, though he might be siding in cards to try to counteract Stony Silence, like Thoughtseize and Spell Pierce and stuff, which case I think that Thalia actually is probably better than Voice. So let's go ahead and just cut the 3 Voices. That's actually pretty simple, huh? Though it's possible, actually, we could draw multiple Thalias, so maybe we want, like, 2 Thalias, 2 Voices, or 3 in 1. I like 3 in 1. I mean, he's going to have Galvanic Blast in his deck for sure on the draw. Maybe we can just kind of get him in on a spell-heavy draw with Thalia, which is nice. I guess we are boarding in spells, so it makes it a little bit worse. I think we want the Scavenging Ooze over Thalia as well. It's kind of like, yeah, Thalia's just bad, right? Maybe I have it all wrong. Maybe Thalia just shouldn't play any at all. It's just so close between it and Voice because they're so both medium. Like, Voice doesn't actually block anything in Affinity, really. The only card it blocks is Memnite, which is a card that's, like, commonly sided out. Look, did you see that? I just moved back and forth, and now I have a 4th Voice of Resurgence. That's it. So, let's just submit this. We have 1 lander with a Vial and a Noble. I think we're actually supposed to mulligan this hand. Like, it looks like a completely functional hand. It doesn't have a second land, and if I don't draw a second land on turn 2, like, the best I can do is just play a Thalia. I have a Path, a Rallier with no real, like, setup or anything except for a Flicker Wisp. In a matchup where Rallier isn't that good. And we also just don't have a Stony Sound. Like, mulliganing into a Stony Sound, like, is so valuable, right? We have a decent, like, a 30% chance or a little bit more to hit a Stony Sounds if we mulligan. So I'm just going to mulligan. We do have, actually did hit the Stony Sounds, but we don't have a land. I don't think we can, my opponent's on 6. I don't think I can ever keep a 0-lander. Though I can actually, if I draw into land, play Noble, play Stony Sounds, no, but we just have to mulligan. It's kind of sad. Like, any 1 land. Ooh, well, we have the hand that we kind of wanted to with the mulligan. So the tight mulls are pretty good here. Lean-In Arbiter kind of close. Like, can maybe help me keep him off mana. On turn 2 though, like, I'm gonna be playing a Stony Silence, but then I can, like, play the Arbiter and Ghost Quarter him. I think it's fine. The only problem is, if he's got, like, a fast start with, like, Signal Pest and Vault Scourge and stuff, that's a way that I could lose with the Stony Silence, and the Arbiter doesn't help me, but I do have the Resto Angel to kind of, like, prevent him from beating me down in the air, so I will keep the Arbiter. Like, if I didn't have the Resto Angel, I definitely would bottom the Arbiter. He's on 6 as well. Let's look at his scry. Why doesn't it show me his scry? He kept a card on top. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't go crazy this turn, because that's how you lose with Stony Silence, is they go underneath. But this looks like to be a pretty good start. I think I'm just going to slam it, in case he's got, like, Ravager or a Darksteel Citadel that he's planning on using. One of the nice reasons of being white, Stony Silence, obviously one of the best sideboard cards in Modern, just because there are, like, 3 decks it's insane against. Does have a Glimmer Void, so we can actually, if he doesn't Wear Tear this right away, I could maybe just Lean-In Arbiter, kill the Ghost Quarter, depending on what we draw, to try to keep him from killing it. But looks like he's going to go for a beatdown here, which means this makes it interesting. I draw another Resto Angel, so that's kind of a weird draw, because now I really don't want to sack my land, because I want to be able to play both Resto Angels as soon as possible. I could hold up the Ghost Quarter to disincentivize him from making that same play, or I could hit him for 1. So if I hold up the Ghost Quarter, he is a lot less likely to attack me with that land. Though, if I'm not sacking it right away, he knows I have something, so he might attack into it anyway, but I think my 1 point is just pretty irrelevant. I'm going to just go ahead and leave the Ghost Quarter up. If I hadn't drawn the Resto, if I'd drawn, like, another 2-drop, I think I just kill the Glimmer Void, because it's going to be hard for the Affinity player to win with a Stony Silence in play without the colored mana. Like, one of the ways they win is through Galvanic Blast, and like I said before, like, random Signal Pest beatdown. Looks like he is going for it anyway, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure that, you know, most of the time my opponent is just going to do this anyway, because obviously, like, it's really weird to let him untap there, which is fine. Like, we're going to go to 14. He's probably going to play another land, and we're in a really good spot here. He doesn't even have a land. Okay, so now we can just draw a land and probably win. Attacking for 3, and we have Resto Angel to eat his Blink Moth. If that happens, then I definitely will take my next turn to kill his Glimmer Void, because he just won't be able to cast spells for the rest of the game. What's pretty sick is he doesn't even have Metalcraft. I wonder what draws a Glimmer Void, okay. I wonder if he's just sitting on bad artifacts that don't do anything, because it seems weird to me that he, like, invested in this Blink Moth plan when I have the Ghost Quarter in play. He's got a Master of Ethereum. Okay, that's not the worst card for him here. It's actually, like, pretty strong against Stony Silence. See if he attacks me. He does. So we just get to blow him out here, which is obviously nice. And I think 2 Restos is going to end the game in short order. A nice trick is you can actually blink a Leanin Arbiter to make your opponent have to pay for the Leanin Arbiter again. So if that's something you don't know, it's good to know. It can be a huge blowout and makes the Arbiters and Restore Angels a little bit better. Storing Wildwood, not a bad draw. I could actually Ghost Quarter him because he could play like an Etch Champion or another Master. But I just think that playing the Resto is going to kill him so fast. I'm going to untap with Ghost Quarter / Wildwood to like kill his land and attack him. That I don't even really care if he plays an Etch Champion here. Not to mention, like, he just doesn't always have it. And sometimes he'll just draw the 3rd land anyway, naturally. To play it. A Springleaf Drum. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Steel Overseer doesn't do anything. He still can't even attack because I could ambush with Resto. But maybe he has to, honestly. He can't really block with it. But yeah, Smartly doesn't attack. Okay, let's go ahead and play the other Resto. Probably don't even need any more spells to win. Is Grizzly Bear better than attacking him for 3? I think attacking him for 3 is the best. Because it just forces him to start blocking even sooner. Where like the 2/2 body is mostly irrelevant. And I'm assuming that he's just going to go to 2 here. Which means that makes my Leanin Arbiter a lethal threat. He can double block this during Wildwood, which is obviously fine with me because Master is pretty reasonable on this board. Let's kill this land. And he just has 0 outs, right? I guess he could Galvanic Blast both of my Resto Angels, but if that happens, I get to just attack him with my Wildwood and my Arbiter. Okay, game 3 on the draw. Definitely don't like Thalia on the draw as much. I think Mind Sensor or Voice is likely going to be better. Voice is, if he's got Masters in his deck, Voice is actually a little bit better. Just like being able to chump block that, make a token is reasonable. Even Mind Sensor is obviously good against Signal Pest and also makes my Paths and Ghost Quarters a tiny bit better, but just on the draw, it just seems way too slow to me. So let's go ahead and just play 3 Voice on the draw. Maybe the sideboard needs a bit of a rework because we have to have a few bad cards in against Affinity. And that's always... For the popular decks, you pretty much always want to have like a clean sideboard plan where you don't have to have cards like this. But when you're playing a green-white deck, you know, like it's kind of hard to be perfect against Affinity or whatever. But we'll see. We pretty much need Stony Silence to win. It's like our only way of winning. It is kind of cool that you can Rallier back Stony Silence if they Thoughtseize it or Spell Pierce it. He's on 6, which is what I'd like to see. As long as he's not explosive, like, turn 2 Stony Silence should be good. Alright, looks like he put a card on top. Okay, well, probably going to have a game. 2 Ornithopters. Springleaf Drum, okay. Vial is interesting. I think it's just better than playing the Noble. Though the Stony Silence does shut it off. if it resolves. So maybe it is just better to play the Noble. It's pretty sick, actually. Maybe I should side some of these out, but I just have so few good cards. Yeah, let's just play the Noble. I think it just seems silly to play the Vial into, though, yeah, maybe playing the Vial is, like, free, because we can just put the Noble Hierarch in. I might miss a damage, though, which could be relevant. A Blood Moon. Okay. That's not actually the end of the world. I wish I had faced the basic, obviously, but I do have the Noble. And now I have a Path. Don't think that against Affinity I'm going to ever be fetching out a land, because I need the fetch land in case I draw Rallier. So let's go ahead and just Stony Silence, and do I even play the Vial? Or do I play a tap land? I'm going to play a tap land. It's going to be an interesting game. If I can draw my basic forest or my basic plains, that would be pretty great. If I can draw like a crappy creature, I can just path it. My worry is that he's going to be able to kill my Noble Hierarch before I get to path one of my own creatures. Though, I probably need to save the path for a master. Steel Overseer doesn't do anything, though it could just kill me, which is kind of funny. Blood Moon. Blood Moon is pretty nasty. I guess I can draw another Noble Hierarch. Maybe I was supposed to not Stony Silence him. That way my Vial like, can give me mana. It's kind of hard to say. This is definitely my first time playing a Vial Stony Silence deck. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if I can draw a non-double colored threat or a Noble Hierarch. It is nice that he doesn't have man lands. Like, it's so much less threatening that he doesn't have man lands. So I think I'm favored here, but it's hard to say for sure. Because I could just keep drawing spells that I can't cast. Which is obviously a problem. Alright, that's a pretty good start. Because that means that if he draws an Etch Champion, now we have a blocker. Also, if we draw Resto Angel, like, we just get value. And I can probably... Well, I could path the Golem token. That way I can just go Flicker Wisp on my... Flicker Wisp on my Blade Splicer multiple times. Because I do want to... His last card could be like a Galv Blast. I do want to get another white mana, because he can definitely win by just killing my Noble Hierarch at this point in the game, and it's like a weird tension where I really, really need the white mana. Cranial Plating, sure. This is quite a bizarre game. So I think my next turn is going to be... I'm like just so likely to win if I just path my Golem token here. That I think we just attack him for 4 with it and pass turn. Could be in trouble. His last card could be etched, or sorry, it could be I'm trying to think of the card. It could be Master of Ethereum, which if he draws like a Glimmer, it has to only be a Glimmer Void though, or a Spire of Industry to cast it. That we would want to path it, but I guess we can just wait. If he plays something we need to path, we'll path it, but probably just going to path my Golem. What's interesting is I can actually flicker my... I can like flicker the Blood Moon to give me better mana, and I can also flicker the Stony Silence to use the Aether Vial, which is pretty hilarious. But let's go ahead and path the Golem, which is I think that I just want to put him away. I don't think that at this point, once I get the plains out of my deck, he can really win. Or he can definitely win, but I have like enough action in my hand to just kind of take over the game. Though I guess if I blink the Stony Silence, he does have the Steel Overseer, so that's just not an option, right? Do I attack with this first? Can I get punished? I don't think I can get punished. There's nothing. I guess mutagenic growth. That would be pretty hilarious, actually. So yeah, I'm just gonna Flicker Wisp. I think I'm just gonna... There's no particular reason, but I'm just gonna hold on to this other vial. It's probably right to play it out, but... Flicker Wisp is so much better when he's got the Blood Moon out. Like, obviously it's hard to cast, but it just... I'm not worried about man lands at all. Yeah, this game's gonna be over in 2 turns, I think. Draw. There's a Pride Mage, which is definitely a good draw. I mean, if he wasn't at 0% before, he's definitely there now, I think. I guess he could have like a Whip Flare, but that doesn't even help him once I have 2 golems, I don't think. Though yeah, Whip Flare would obviously be good. It would kill everything except for my 2 golems, and I'd have to win off those. Oh, I almost bounced my Flicker Wisp. Bounce the Blade Splicer. Actually, that's actually probably a tight play. What I could have done there to like play around Whip Flare a little bit was if I blinked my Flicker Wisp, then my other Flicker Wisp comes in on my instep, which blinks my Blade Splicer, which then only comes in on my opponent's instep. So, but yeah, we win the match. All right, not bad for our first match.